Morning, folks. Saturday morning. It's about 7 o'clock. Uh, I'm using my tablet, so hopefully that comes through okay. Uh, got the puppy dog. So let's talk about this week. I listened to a book on YouTube this week, which I highly recommend. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the tablet to sit straight. It's like not cooperating. Anyway, I listened to a book on YouTube which was like 11 hours long, and I was real impressed with the book, and kudos to the author, right? It was called 48 Hours, and it deals with CMEs and CPEs and the reaction of government officials and things of this nature, right? And I highly recommend that if you don't have the ability to get the book itself, that you go and you listen to it on YouTube. Very good book, okay? Very good book. And the way the author put it out makes complete sense what would happen, okay? And it will kind of open your eyes a little bit to what we're moving into, okay? Because a lot of people are saying that we're in a we got Super El Nino, we've got the sun acting crazy, we got more and more solar flares, but the reaction of government officials is all about let's go more and more to war, right? Let's go more and more to war. Let's tax the regular people more and more by raising the prices of things, by just making everything unaffordable, right? And this was a good break for me this week, but it also makes you realize that you need to think morally and logically about what's coming, okay? We're moving into, and we do this, we do this through cycles, right? But we're moving into a very dirty part of space. So the idea that more and more meteors are going to come down is logical, right? That's logical because there's more and more of them out there, more and more asteroids out there, because we are moving into that dirty part of space. Now, whether or not they reach the ground, I don't know, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm just a truck driver, right? But what I see happening is I see farmers all across the nation and all across the world unable to plant. And the reason they can't plant is they don't have the proper fertilizer. Now, for those of you who are going to say, well, why don't they just make compost? You don't understand. The plants that go to our grocery store and go to our warehouses to be made into different products require certain amount of nitrogen, potassium, etc., 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 in order to produce. Because a lot of the seeds that the farmers plant are not heirloom seeds. They are hybrids. They're GMO crops. So they require specific amounts of chemicals in order to grow. Okay? So just saying, oh, well, it can just make compost. Okay, yes, you can make compost for your garden beds at your homestead, but that does not work when you're talking 500 acres. That just doesn't work. Okay? Um, so, there are several people that I have been kind of watching this week, and what's coming, in my personal opinion, just saying, this is my opinions, this is what I see, doesn't mean it's true. Okay, just means that what I see on the ground with freight that I'm moving, and with things that all this information that I'm getting from various other YouTubers, is that come fall, you better have 6 months of food for your family. And I'm going to say that clearly, 6 months minimum. And the reason for that is low food supply, low beef supply, low chicken supply, low everything supply. Okay? And this is what I'm seeing. Okay? On top of that, we're also seeing major layoffs. Okay? So I know a lot of people are like, well, we got all these major layoffs, yada, 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 right? So, need to look at what you can do if you're in that situation. You need to look at what you can do and think outside the box, okay? You're going to have to think outside the box, because even if you see that people are hiring, they're not just hiring anybody, right? You've got to think outside the box and do your due diligence as far as finding another job, right? And a lot of these jobs are just completely going away. Okay? And the reason they're going away, AI. Okay? AI, companies are going under because of the economy, right? They're cutting the flack. Okay? And that's across all different genres of the job market. They're cutting the flack. So if you have a job, even if you hate that job, you need to be the best employee you can be to keep that job. Okay? You need to go above and beyond right now. And I'm saying this because everything I'm seeing is pointing to us going into a Great Depression. And I know that sounds out there, right? But everything I'm seeing is pointing towards a Great Depression, on top of the fact that no food. So, this is on top of the fact that we have a possible pandemic starting up. We know that the Congo is dealing with Ebola, right? God bless them. Very dangerous disease. Do not want to see that here in the United States. I really don't. I really feel for the Congolese, because that is a horrible, horrible disease. Amazingly, we're not hearing much about Hanta, right? It's kind of took a back seat because of what's going on in the Congo. But that is also a possibility. So need to look at, do I have just the basic stuff I need for, cold and flu? And do I have the basic power, water, and food I need in case we have brownouts or the electricity goes away? Think of these things, right? On the other side of the coin, I went to the store to get my dog food. I've seen an increase in the price of dog food. I've seen an increase in the price of the canned food for dogs. I'm seeing increases all across the board, okay? Meats, breads, you name it. It's all gone up. We all are seeing this, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is I know it's expensive, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is you need to think that come fall, there may not be as much produce or goods available as there are today. And the reason for that is cotton. Cotton, people don't look at cotton very often, but think cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil's in a whole hell of a lot of things, okay? 2, corn. Corn is used to feed the animals, right? It's also used in high fructose corn syrup. They're not planting. They're not planting because they don't have the fertilizer to plant. That's going to be an issue. So if you have animals, grains for your chickens, etc., you need to think, okay, I need to put a couple months behind. That way I have it, okay? And yes, I know it's expensive, okay? My chicken feed has gone up exponentially, okay? I expect that to increase as we head towards winter. I do, okay? Think of alternative power sources. Generator, right? Solar power, wind power. Depending on where you live, look at these items, because with the cost of municipal electricity going up exponentially, you may have to turn off your electricity at the box and run your own electricity for a couple days just so that your electric bill is not out of the roof. Because I'm hearing electric bills $1,300, $1,400 a month. That's unsustainable, okay? That's unsustainable for most people. Oil. We all know about what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. If you can afford it, get some oil for your vehicles put to the side, okay? Just to have it. And I'm not talking gallons of oil. I'm talking, get 6 to 7 quarts of oil. Keep them on the side. Oil does not go bad, okay? It never goes bad. So if you can buy extra oil filters, fuel filters, go out. Fuel filters, things of this nature, do it, okay? Hand tools. If you don't have power, how are you going to do anything? You need to have hand tools, okay? You need to have hand tools. If you live in an apartment, think camping, okay? There's so much camping gear out there. Think camping. Camping lights, solar lights, battery operated lights, and think, what do I use in a daily basis, okay? The last thing and the most important, water. If you don't have water, you're dead. Okay? There is no, well, I'll take care of that when no. Water. You need water. Some of the good items that are on sale right now is the bathtub bivy. You can fill that full of fresh water. If you have and you live like I do down in the South, pop up a swimming pool. Let the swimming pool collect the rainwater. At least you'll have some water. Okay? If you can't do that, look at bottled water, look and gallon jugs of water. Reuse 2-liter bottles, from soda. You can reuse those, rinse them out, fill them with water, boom. Have at least a week or two of water on hand. Have a way to filter that water. Okay, you can make you can go and look online and make your own filtration system. You don't have to spend a ton of money in order to filter water. Okay, it doesn't require that. Okay, if you collect rainwater, it needs to be filtered before you drink it. We already know that they're spraying the skies with all kinds of pesticides and chemicals. We already know that whatever roof that you're collecting your rainwater off, you're going to have birds that crap on it. You're going to have squirrels running across it, rats, mice, you name it. It's going to be on that roof. Okay? Plus the debris off of any trees. So you need a way to clean that water. I'm giving you these ideas because what I see coming is very bad. Very bad. And I want you and your family to be prepared. Try and do what you can do. Whether it be growing one tomato plant, filling up a couple 2-liter bottles full of water so that you have at least washing water and drinking water on hand. Do it. Think reuse things, right? How many times have you used a peanut butter jar and just thrown the jar away? You can wash that peanut butter jar out and use it for bolts, nuts, screws. You can use it for little things, to hold little things. Of course, it can't be used to hold food, but it can be used to be more organized, okay? So think of these things, right? Glass jars. Glass jars can be washed out, like jelly jars, can be washed out and reused for dry goods, okay? Now, all dry goods, I don't care who you are or what you think you know, I'm telling you, as a truck driver, I've been to these warehouses that do these dry goods, that package these goods. I've seen the roaches, I've seen the flies, I've seen the rats, I've seen the mice. I've seen the shit mud that's outside the dock doors. I've seen the trailers that go in that you don't know what was in there prior to them loading that trailer with those goods. All dry goods, all, need to be frozen. And the best bet is to freeze them for a week. Take them out of the freezer after a week, let them come up to room temperature, normally about 24 hours, and then package them into jars. Whether it be jelly jars, mason jars, whatever kind of jars. Put them in jars with a bay leaf and an oxygen absorber. The reason you put a bay leaf in with it is to discourage pests from going into the jar. Okay? Oxygen absorbers, if anything survived being froze for a week, oxygen absorbers will remove the oxygen from the food and kill it. Okay? It cannot survive in an oxygen-free environment. Okay? But it needs to be frozen to kill the eggs. All dry goods. All. I don't care what these other preppers are telling you. It has to be frozen. Okay? I've seen it. I've seen them throw out thousands of pounds of dry goods because they have weevils in it. And it's just been sitting so long before it gets packaged that now they have to throw that whole batch out. I've seen it. Okay? All dry goods freeze for a week. Trust me. All dry goods. I don't care if it's Hamburger Helper. I don't care. Freeze it for a week. Trust me on this. You do not want those little gnats and drain flies setting up residence in your home and destroying what food supply you do have. Okay? So, I hope these little tips help you. I'm just going off the top of my head. Okay? But you need to think of this going forward. Get some cash on hand. I'm not talking thousands of dollars. Okay? Enough that if you're traveling or to your bug out location, you have enough cash on hand in case the credit card kiosk and the debit card kiosk go down. You have cash on hand to pay for fuel. Okay? To pay tolls. You've got it on hand, ready to go. Okay? And like I said, I'm not talking thousands of dollars. Get enough cash on hand that you have it on hand. Of course, silver, gold, copper, whatever you can get, right? It doesn't lose value. I hope this helps you. I hope I'm waking somebody up, because this is looking like the 1920s going into the 1930s, right before the Great Depression hit. And what happened was the banks went down. So have some cash on hand just in case that happens again. Bicycle.